I gotta tell my story somehow. I can't type it, I can't write it. So maybe I can video diarize it. Sometimes I like the way I look, so if I'm looking at myself in a certain way, it's because I like the way I look sometimes. And sometimes I hate myself, so if I'm looking at like the camera in that way, then it's because I hate myself. It's massive duality on all ends of the fucking spectrum. In fact, I've got two separate spectrums because don't tell anyone, but I actually have autism as well. So I've got that spectrum, and then I've got like the other mental illness, like trauma spectrum. So it's like they run most of the time. I've got it so that they're running parallel with each other. They never cross. They're like lines traveling into space forever. But like large events, like intergalactic collisions, they might cross paths. And they are bad days, very bad days. That's where I can hear outside of like normal ranges and like the colours and the lights and the stuff. But in the midst of that, I'm also like trauma based as well because I'm predominantly trauma based. Because trauma is all encompassing. That's what it does, you know. That's it. It like engulfs you forever until you look at it, stare it down, and then you just get watered down versions of it after that in increments. So I'm starting the watered down process. It's fucking metaphors, man, honestly. This is why I need to get it out though, because I speak in riddles. Yeah. And if I'm not looking at the camera, that's not me talking. So that's like, you know, my mind in characters that I've created over the years. Yes, you've created very many characters, no? Well, most of them are just rip-offs of people that I know. But yeah, there's been a few. There's a couple of them that are actually me, actually more natural to me than like what I speak about in like my everyday, like what people know me talking about, talking like sounding like this is actually more natural for me to sound like this because of where I grew up. I grew up in South Africa, so like I don't talk like this all the time. And people are like, "Where are you from? Your accent? Where are you from?" "Oh, where are you from? Where are you from? That's a bit weird." I'm from up in South Africa. "Oh, where about? Where?" Man, I used to have all those fucking sorts of conversations with British people. So I developed like just a British accent just to fit in with everybody else, but I'm like, fucking hell, I'll just bastardize their voices and ended up like it just sticks, you know, voices they stick to speak in a voice for long enough, and for me it just becomes my normal voice. So it's this constant like evolution going on with my voice. Didn't want to talk about my voice. Didn't mean to talk about that at all, but like I've fucking said at the start of the video, I don't want to swear. Don't swear, you're better than that. I'm not better than that. I like swearing, and I'm not better than it, so don't lie to me. These guys, honestly, they're always there, even when I'm talking, they're just buzzing. I'm amazed I can hear anything else, but I can still hear everything else as well, like people over the street just now talking, like birds out back. Slight, like weird thing in my lungs when I breathe. It kind of rasps at the bottom because of my COPD. So why couldn't the world just give me one spectrum to deal with? You know, here's your spectrum. You're going to be at varying points on this one spectrum. Get to know your spectrum and you'll understand your life. No, it's like parallel spectrums that don't speak to each other. Just figure all that out, and then everybody else is like just living. And I'm like, well, okay, maybe I'll get to that point. I used to think like that. Maybe I'll get to that point. I'll start functioning as people. Just keep pretending. And then for a while, I did actually function quite normally. You know, somewhere in between like 1 liter and 1.5 liters of vodka, I functioned like a perfectly normal, motivated human being for years. And I realised I was a fully functioning alcoholic. That was the only reason I was functioning. So that was another spectrum I had, drugs and alcohol. So, you know, I've got it down to 2 spectrums now. So, like, that's not bad, is it, really? Keep nodding, man. Just tell yourself it's good, it's very good. Yes, it's really good, well done. I used to drink these voices away and they'd go away. But what I didn't realize was I'd be talking like, so like the stuff would be coming out of my mouth because I'd be inebriated, intoxicated. My inhibitions, what a funny word. My inhibitions would have been lessened. So like the natural thing that alcohol does, like it boom, but then the shit that spewed out of my mouth was like lethal. No, it's not like nasty, just not really right. Just like maybe it was indicative of a serious problem, and people used to tell me all the time, this is indicative of a serious problem. So I stopped drinking with people, just drank on my own. Just, cut out the middleman. Fuck people. That's what I used to think. Fuck people. If you don't get me, then I'll do what I want without you. And then one day I didn't get me. I'm like, oh, so frustrating. I think like I've got a sense of identity, but I've got a sense of whatever identity I'm being. And it's like when that goes, it's like that guy's died and then I've got to learn everything again. That's what it feels like. But over the years, like I've got these different identities, but sometimes they're autonomous. Like I don't think all last year I thought I had this dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multiple personality disorder, but I don't think I've got that. I think I've got elements of it, but not that. Like I've got like an otherwise specified dissociative disorder or something, because I do get the dissociative amnesia, and that is crazy as hell, man. Even now, even like nowadays, like recent times, I'm having like conversations with people and I'm like, what are they talking about? But they know me and I know them. Like sometimes people ring me and they know all about my life and I'm like, okay, not only do I not know these, but they're saved in my phone under their name and where they're from, and they're talking to me like as if we've got a relationship, and I'm like, where do I know you from? And they're like, this, and I'm like, fuck, don't remember that. It's been happening like severely for about 10 years. 2008, 2009 is when I started noticing it. Like I started waking up in the bath. Don't want to be too graphic, so I'll leave that there. But I thought, like, this is a problem. But obviously, because what I did with problems then was like, that's what I did until like a couple of years ago. I think that's what made me lose my sense of identity completely. All the toxins, all the substances, the inhuman level of like inebriation I can take within my system, because all it does is like keep me going. All it does is activate my adrenaline activates my cortisol goes through my mind, so everything becomes like clear, everything's like really, like I've got this severe clarity when I'm on certain drugs and alcohol. Like I'll smoke a lot of weed every now and then, not like 24/7 like I did from the age of about 20, 21, 22 to like, I don't know, not even that long ago. Full-time pothead, full-time functioning alcoholic. At one point, I was being given heroin like before I was even 6, 7. I think I was 4, 5. I had a heroin overdose when I was a kid. This is all the stuff I've supposedly made up. I've got like a mother who says that I've made all this shit up for attention because I'm jealous of her. So I make up all these stories about like trauma and even accidents. Like I've made up stories about operations when I've literally had operations. Like all my teeth are messed up, man. My nose is messed up because I smashed into walls and that. Got into a load of fights at school and people used to just smack me around. So I had all these like broken bones in my face, like my nose was shattered and like still got no teeth because I knocked them all out as soon as they grew in. I had most of my life with crowns, and they're just deteriorating now, so you can't live with them forever because they've got like a lifespan. Even my nose is going to fall apart if I live long enough. And just got to live with like the sense that nobody believes a fucking word I say, because why would they? I've got no proof. Like, I'm first to say that I've got a vivid imagination, so I don't expect anybody to believe a word I say, because I'm very convincing to myself sometimes when I know I'm lying. I have to lie to myself at times to get through not any given situation, but some of them. Like, you lie to yourself and then you start acting in accordance with that. Like, the whole fake it until you make it. That's bullshit, but sometimes there's no other way. It's more like fake it so I don't break down, or I don't draw attention to myself, which made me neurotic. Sorry about the finger cracking. Can't help it. I'm just gonna stick this shit on YouTube. YouTube. It's a popular video site. It's been around for years. YouTube.com. Just put it in your browser, you go straight to it. You can build an account, you can sign in, you can use it as a guest. Condescending bastard. I know. Bye.